We here in the Valley see construction and hammers and construction trucks all around the area and think, all right, our economy is getting back. But what do these big houses do to impact the environment? Right now, joining me from Walking Mountain Science Center is Koppel. Kira, how are you today?
Good, thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming in. And you have a really interesting film series going on, and you're talking about some of these big mini mansions or McMansions, whatever they slated them, the term, a few years ago in Martha's Vineyard. So your film series is when and what's it about?
Sure, so tonight at Loaded Joe's at 6:30 p.m. and then 2 weeks from tonight at the Dusty Boot in Eagle is this month's film, which is called One Big Home. But we do this film series every year. This is our 5th or 6th year, I believe, doing it. And so it's been a big hit so far. It's really taken off in the last 2 years.
One Big Home. Now we all kind of start getting dreamy thinking, oh, imagine that kitchen that's gorgeous and the 6 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms. But really on small areas, especially by the ocean in Martha's Vineyard on the East Coast, we're seeing a big impact on the environment with these big homes. And so your filmmaker is really an interesting guy.
Yes, so the guy who made the film is Thomas Bina, and so he grew up on Martha's Vineyard in the town that the video is filmed at, and he was a construction worker, and so he saw all of these big mansions kind of taking over, and he wanted to do something about it because he noticed it was changing kind of the community culture. It was taking up all of the ocean views and really affecting both the people and the environment. So you get a really interesting perspective because it's from the construction side, and then architecture or architects who are building these homes, and then the people who are living in them.
And so the locals that are in the community that are so excited because now they have employment, they have a lot of work, you know, they're building, they're doing the architecture work, the interior decorators are there, the gardeners are there, and then a few people probably, that fly in for 4th of July weekend and hang out in these homes. What's the difference? That's got to be really interesting. Have you watched the film already?
Yes, yeah, I've watched it a couple of times, and I think each time I watch it I can pull apart different things or how it relates to our community. I know workforce housing is kind of a hot topic here right now, and that's addressed in this film too. So I think it's just a good way to bring up these types of conversations. It's not really an anti-development or anti-mansion film, but just seeing Thomas's progress throughout those 12 years and the community conversations is really unique.
So talking about environmental stuff, I mean, when you're building big houses on beachfront or on cliffront or something like that, erosion must be a huge factor, I would think.
Yeah, it does increase risk of that, or just the way it's built. I mean, the architects know what they're doing, but the way, I mean, that it's kind of irreversible environmental damage when you're that close to the ocean. So I know we don't have that issue here.
We don't have it here, but a lot of places do, and a lot of my parents have lived by the ocean for so long, and there's a lot of restrictions now. I mean, even lake living, like you can't build this close. You used to be able to build like right on the water, and now you can't do that. Is that some of the issues that we're going to see in this film as well?
Yeah,
changing laws, I guess. Okay. And what other environmental impact did the McMansions have?
Sure, I think it's just the quality
of life,
and then pollution that's caused by the construction zones. And so I know that that's kind of something that we have to think about here. And I know we have Gore Creek pretty well protected with fences and things like that to keep anything out from things like that here.
Right, you don't totally think about it because when you look at a construction site, they have their big, huge dumpster right there. But even just throwing stuff in there and the debris that goes, that kind of flies off of it, and if you're a neighbor there, you probably are inhaling some things that you really don't want to be inhaling, I would think.
Exactly, yeah. So it's kind of a health issue too. And I think what's important about it is just to think about, you know, development is good. It's good for the economy, but maybe we just need to think about how we're doing it so that we're, you know, paying attention to the people and the environment that's affected.
I feel like we really are paying attention to that. And so thanks to Walking Mountain Science Center too, because you guys really help us get awareness of what's going on with the environment. So the film is tonight at Loaded Joe's, and then it plays again in Eagle in a couple weeks. Thanks for playing it in Eagle too. Sometimes us Eagle folks have a tough time getting all the way up to Avon. So
I know, I live out in Eagle, so
we'll
completely understand.
Dusty Boot. Okay, Kira, thanks so much for joining us. Kira is with Walking Mountains. They are located in Avon. They're a science center. Great programs across the board, but the Sustainable Film Series is tonight at Loaded Joe, so it'll be a real interesting one, and it will spark a lot of conversation. We're going to head out to the TV8 back patio where Claire is hanging out. She's going to let us know what that weather forecast looks like for the week.